Welcome to today's video. We've spent the last two videos learning how to take an equation in both slope-intercept form and standard form and turn it into a graph. Today, we're going to focus on writing linear equations in slope-intercept form given that graph. Again, we're going to show our mastery in class by scoring at least an 80% on an exit ticket. Hopefully you have the notes in front of you. If not, you can take out a blank sheet of paper. We can transfer it to the notes when you get to class tomorrow morning. Now, when we're writing equations in slope-intercept form from a graph, the first thing we need to do is we need to pick 2 points and we need to find the slope. This is going to be your value of m in the equation. Usually I give you the equation and ask you to tell me the slope. Well, now we're going to find the slope. Then we want to find the coordinates of our y-intercept. This is just the value where it crosses your y-axis. Again, same thing as the last couple days. It's going to be 0, b. So wherever it crossed is your b. Then we're going to write the equation substituting our numerical values in. If we look at our first example, if we start with our y-intercept, my y-intercept is right here. That's going to be at 0, -1. I'm going to pick a second point on here, and I'm going to choose 5, 1. Well, if I need to count my rise, I go up 2, so that gives me a +2, and then I go to the right 5, which gives me a +5. Again, as a reminder, slope is always equal to rise over run, so in this case, my m for my slope is going to equal 2/5. I can't reduce the fraction, so that's as simplified as it can. My equation is y equals mx plus b, where in this case my m is 2/5 x, and my b is my y-intercept, which is -1, so I'm going to put -1. Now, if you were to write the equation y equals 2/5 x plus -1, this is one of those in class where we say you ain't wrong, but you ain't right. Yes, it is technically correct. We can add a -1, but a positive times a negative gives you a negative. So your answer should just say -1. If we look at example 2, again, I'm going to start with my y-intercept. It intersects right there at -2, so my point is 0, -2. Now I need to pick another point, so I'm going to use the point at 4, -3. Well, I go down 1, and I'm going to denote that as -1, and I go to the right 4, so that is +4. Again, my slope is going to be rise over run, so it is -1/4. I cannot simplify this, so my equation is going to be y equals m, which is -1/4, x plus my b, which in this case is -2. So I get y equals -1/4 x minus 2. If you had chosen the point -4, -1, you would rise up 1, but you would move to the left 4. So I would have +1 over -4. Either way, whichever point you choose, you end up with the same fraction for your slope. So as just a little reminder, you can choose any 2 points. Just make sure you're counting your rise over your run and making them either positive or negative depending on the direction you're moving in. Our third example. In this case, my y-intercept is right at the origin, so it is 0, 0. If I look and I pick another point, I'm going to pick 2, -1. From here, I go down 1, and I go to the right 2. So my rise is -1, my run is +2. This makes my slope -1/2. Your equation then, if I substitute m in, is y equals -1/2 x plus 0. However, according to the additive identity property, Our final answer, adding 0 doesn't change it, so our final answer would be y equals negative 1/2 x. We don't have to include that plus 0 on the end of our equation. Our last example, if you remember back to when we've talked about Hoy Vux, we have horizontal lines and we have vertical lines. In this case, it's a horizontal line, so I'm not even going to worry about the Vux. A horizontal line tells me it has a slope of 0. If I look at my y-intercept, it intercepts at 0, negative 4. Well, a horizontal line is a y equals equation. So my y is going to equal exactly where it crosses the y-axis. So y equals negative 4. I have 0 slope, so I can put 0x, but the multiplicative property of 0 tells me any number times 0 is 0, so I'm not even going to add 0x on there. Your final equation is just y equals negative 4. At this point, we're done going through some examples together. I want you to try the 4 practice problems on the back. Bring them to class tomorrow. We can talk about any questions you have, or you can move on within the topics. Have a great evening.